Hi, I'm Xiao Xiao. Welcome to my channel Xiao Xiao Yarn. In the last episode of Basics of Sashiko, I shared with you the materials and tools I use. And today, I'd like to share with you some basic Sashiko techniques. Let's get started. Part 1. Draw the pattern. You often see people start their Sashiko patterns by drawing grids. It is because the patterns are usually repeating and geometrical, and they're often made from straight lines and round circles. They're practical and easy to sew. Taking this blue seaweed pattern for example, to start, I'm drawing a 2 cm by 2 cm grid. On top of that, I'll draw 3 half circles measuring 4, 3, and 2 cm in diameters respectively. You can draw this pattern in any size as long as you follow the proportion. Part 2. Prepare the threads. As mentioned in my last video, if you do have some Sashiko threads, you're lucky, use them. However, if you don't, here is how I make them from thin cotton threads. I hold the thread and loop it around my quilter's ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then cut it at the top. After that, I give it a twist. You can control how many loops you want to make depending on how thick you want your threads to be. I like my Sashiko threads to be long enough but shorter than the distance from my heart to the tip of my sewing hand, so my thread doesn't run out that fast and I don't need to drag them all the time. My quilter's ruler makes the length of the threads to be around 24 inches, which is perfect for me. Part 3. Basics of Sashiko sewing. Sashiko in Japanese literally means little steps, and that describes how you Sashiko. I like holding the tip of my needle between my thumb and the index finger, like this. As the needle runs, I push the end tip of it with my thimble, and with the other hand, I hold the fabric and move like this, little by little, as a guidance for each step. When I make enough stitches, I again use my thimble to push the needle through the fabric. And here, I would pull the fabric instead of the needle because otherwise I'll have a hard time to get it through. Part 4. How to Sashiko without knots. Knots makes your work more secure, but the no-knots way makes your project neater and flatter at the back. To sew without knots, to start, sew towards the opposite direction for several stitches till you reach the starting point. Turn around, skip the first stitch, sew over the existing stitches, and then follow the planned route. To extend the thread without knots, simply bring another thread and stitch over a few stitches and continue sewing. To finish without knots, same as how you started, you just have to skip the last stitch and go back for a few stitches. Voila! Now it is secure and you don't see a knot. Part 5. Smooth your fabric. It is very important to smooth your fabric, otherwise your work will get stuck. Smooth your fabric right after your stitches are done, like this. Then, make sure you leave a bit extra thread between each lines and at each sharp turning point. Part 6. Plan your route before sewing. Traditionally, Sashiko is all about upcycling and being thrifty, so before you sew your pattern, you should already figure out a route that saves you the most threads. Take this Shippo 7 Treasures pattern for example. The pattern is a combination of circles. However, you want to sew it following the diagonal lines, so you span the lead threads. Well, that's all for today. I hope it helps for your future Sashiko projects. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also share it with your crafty friends. In the next video, I will share with you some simple and easy to sew Sashiko patterns. Stay tuned! Thanks for watching, happy stitching and stay creative!